Now go back to your screen.
Can you still see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll just see if we can go into slideshow mode. Now, yeah, so I guess
Yes, ma'am.
we'll we'll start.
Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Yeah. So I thought we had done motor learning, but I was told that it's not done. So we'll do it, and I think we should be able to finish it in an hour's time. So at the end of the session, all of you should know the definition, classification of motor learning, conditions under which we can do good motor learning, and its application in physiotherapy. So what is the definition of learning? Let's read it out. It is a set of processes associated with practice for experience. All this is important. I have written the 4 subparts and after we have finished the definition, but let me read it first. Set of processes associated with practice. Now why are we saying practice? Because this is motor learning. Motor learning is movement, correct? And therefore we need to have practice. So it is associated with practice for experience, leading to relatively permanent changes in the capability for producing skilled action. Now this relatively permanent again is very important part of definition. When do we say learning has taken place? Or rather we say learning has happened whenever there is permanent change seen in the skilled movement that the patient will perform. Now this is very much applicable for you all also. Okay, academic skills also should have permanent change. Only then there is learning. Otherwise we all go back to where we begin if there is no permanent change. And therefore permanent change is a very important component of this definition. So what are the 4 points that reflect from this definition? Motor learning allows a patient to acquire the capability for skilled action. It results from practice or experience. Obviously, we say that repetition is important. All our approaches that we have studied before, all of them have this common statement that repeated practice or experience is important. So that's what this means. It cannot be measured, meaning what cannot be measured? Motor learning cannot be measured directly, and therefore it is seen in the changed behavior of the patient. What is the changed behavior? Patient learns that movement, and whenever we want the patient to perform it, patient will perform it independently. So therefore we say that it cannot be measured, but it can be seen or it can be inferred from patient's behavior, and it leads to permanent change. Now, before I begin, let me find out, do you understand why are we learning motor learning? Or why are we studying motor learning? Any idea? I have said application in physiotherapy and all, but you should have some mindset before we get into the lecture. Why should we learn motor learning? Now, at least from definition, if you can tell me. Chalo, quick response.
Ma'am, so after any injury
Just talk little loudly, I can't hear you.
ma'am, so can you hear me now?
Slightly, meaning still higher volume.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, so after any injury or any kind of trauma, so there is some problem with the muscles or any tissue. So to learn, so the function of the tissue is lost. So to relearn the function of that specific tissue, motor learning is important.
No, as a student, why am I teaching you motor learning? You are talking from perspective of patient. I want you all to tell me why should this be included in your syllabus as a physiotherapy student. You are learning this, you know. Why should you learn motor learning? Because this is going to give you idea or insight into how patient will learn, and therefore what you should do to